Hello, Baba and Nyonya. This is a special episode, not episode, but it's I have all the consultants here at the Emerald Hill, and now Emerald Hill is already showing, and perhaps I would like the consultant to share a little bit of high notes to us, and can I start with Gwendolyn?
Hi, I'm Gwen. I am grateful and thankful to Mediacorp and TPAS for the opportunity to consult or to be involved with Emerald Hill. What happened is my role in Emerald Hill was due to my research in a taboo subject, death. Death and its journey, death and its eventual, as well as the preparation. In the play Emerald Hill, there is a scene that involved a beautiful setup of a funeral wake. And I was thrilled to the T when Mediacorp was open to suggestions of setting up the wake in the former setup of the then Peranakan Museum section of the funeral. It was elegant and it was thoughtfully done. And Mediacorp went out of their way to source much of the furniture and the paraphernalia for the setup. And here I must give my thanks also to Raymond Wong, because he also contributed on the coffin cloth. And yes, there is a real coffin. Part of my presence there also was to ensure that the cast and the crew was taken care of in terms of their well-being. I had to ensure that they had a flower bath almost daily during the shoot, as well as at certain times they had to wear red as well. And also, going back to the coffin, we had to ensure that it was had red items as well as flowers inside the cavity of the coffin. All this is the background of 15 years of guiding at the Peranakan Museum, and also my personal interest in research in the death rituals. And for this, I thank much of the Peranakan community for sharing their stories with me and their practices. Well, with that, I can only give you a little hint. Get your box of tissue ready. There'll be lots of tears to cry on. Thank you.
Thank you, Gwen. Raymond, so you have a lot to say. Yeah?
In fact, I also got to thank TPAS because when Mediacorp approached TPAS to look for someone that can share with them the history and evolution of kebayas, and they would also hope to be able to see and touch and feel how the vintage kebayas would feel like. I was able to get the chance to share what I knew and what I've collected over the past 20 years. Then shortly after that, they actually approached me and said, "Hey Raymond, would you be able to work with our image stylist Ian and create the kebayas for our 8 actresses in this show?" So for the past few months in the early, I think before March, the past 1.5 months, I was really very busy just rushing all the clothes for the actresses, from taking their measurements and cutting their clothes. Then after that, rush back for army. I rush back for my in-cap. Then after that, when I come back, I rush up with the clothes again. It was a lot of effort put into making the clothes.
We can understand. And also the different era from now. So you have to base on those times.
Yeah.
And the fabric is different, the embroidery is different.
Because when we understand the story from the image stylist, the story is no longer in the 1930s to the 1940s. The story is now in the late 1950s all the way to the 1970s. So the clothing style and fashion, somehow I also need to do some description and explanation to them. And even things like batik shirt, they wanted to involve batik shirt to be worn as early as in the 1950s and 60s. But from what I've learned over the years from a lot of elders, they were saying that no, batik fashion only came in the late 60s or early 70s, so it shouldn't be appearing in the much earlier period. And we try to give our knowledge, advice to the image stylists as far as we can. And of course, it was also fun making the clothes because while doing the clothes, we found out that traditionally when we do kebayas for our customers, you'll be whatever prints you have on the sarong or on the kebaya fabric, you'll do matching embroidery prints. But in this case, after doing one or two pieces of this manner, I felt that it's not interesting enough. So when we discussed further with Ian, said, hey, can we do something like interesting kebaya so that the actresses, when they wear the kebaya, they can feel proud about it, and it also describes the character of the person. So if you have seen first episode by now, which already has been released, you notice that, for example, Sheila, she's playing tennis. She's an outspoken lady. She's very modern thinking, and she plays a lot of sports. So when I was known that she only had one kebaya in the whole show, then it has to be extra meaningful. So for a woman like her, we would do less flowers, but we add tennis rackets and tennis balls.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is just to give her a feel that she's a very westernized lady, very outspoken and very playful at the same time. And she managed to display those traits in the first episode.
Yes.
It's very good. So thank you.
Thank you.
You are also from Kuala Lumpur. We have another consultant.
Oh, yeah. We also have another friend coming down all the way from Malacca, Lilian Tian. We were very lucky that he was also able to come down and give his personal expert advice on a few matters in the home decor, especially on the ancestral worship and how the children should sonja to their elders. And I think he actually did a great job in giving his expert advice on all these matters. Yeah.
Thank
right
you,
down
thank
to the position of how the chopstick should be faced on the altar. Yeah.
Thank you, Tian, if you're watching. Lilian.
Yes.
Yes.
I thank Mediacorp and especially TPAS for inviting me to my role for the Emerald Hill is to guide the matriarch walk and eat and the way she talk, and the display of also the makan that we taught them to pakai tangan, and also but come to the food is by another consultant. So I only do the teaching of the matriarch. I'm very glad that Joey did a very good job. Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Seronok sekali. Even
yeah.
dia lift up dia punya itu limpo seronok sekali dia lepas balik dia duduk. Everything was very according to what I expect lah.
Yeah.
She,
How long
and she
was the
did so-
training?
That was only a few
Hours.
only.
Yeah.
Then she mastered it. Then the next time again, I watched her. Then she do it was very good. So each time when she was at the prom, so I always praise her. I always tell her, very good. Very good. You did the right part.
Yeah.
So
Because
I
it's
think
not
she's
easy
a good
to walk.
actress.
Yeah.
It's not easy. But first, when I taught her how to walk, she said, how come I will look like old lady walking? I said, because you pakai the kasut seret, so you supposed to walk like that, seret the kasut.
She has to drag her feet a
Drag
little
her
as
feet.
she walk.
And she walked. So then she understand. Because otherwise, the first time when I taught her, she felt like, I felt like as though overnight my role is old lady. No, because of the kasut seret. That's why the name is kasut seret. You have to seret. You don't walk. Tick, tick. You just seret. So that's why. But she was very good. She was very good. I'm so glad, that she picked up very fast. Even pakai tangan makan. Jessica was very good. Jessica picked up the pakai tangan very good. Very good. Yeah.
So on the whole, you enjoy the
Yeah,
whole.
I enjoy. So that's why when they tell me, you have to stay back, and stay for that hours, so I stay back. But I enjoy. I also teach them to play the cherki.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then the next episode of what they will start. And after that, in between the break, we play among ourselves.
So that's a good practice.
Yeah, and one of them say, "Oh, it's something like English Jinrambi." I say, "Yeah, it's something like that." Yeah. So they enjoy. Then they say, "Okay, Tachi, next time you come to play with us." Then even, I told them, I said, "I leave all the card there. You all can play in between your break." Yeah, that's all.
Actually, it was
Thank
very
you.
fun, and
Yeah.
when the three of us go visit the house, even more interesting.
Yeah,
We never expect that they can do the house so realistic.
Yeah.
Oh, that the first day when we were there with the director,
Yes.
Yeah,
I was
correct.
there.
You were
yes,
there too.
yes.
So I also taught the hairdresser how to, twist the sangu. I show them my originally when I wear the baju panjang. So I took the close photo and give it to them, and I also show them on the spot. And Raymond was there with me. So everybody tried to do and it comes in that kind of form. But along the way, when they do it, might be satu orang punya tangan, correct? So really have to do it properly. So the sango have to be that is not panjang tajam, but it's really sango twisted. Siput. Yeah, siput.
Yeah.
So that's why it called sango siput. So even the pin, I taught them all the correct things. Even the two hairdresser, they learn on the spot and they do it again, repeat and repeat. They say it was so tedious. How do we manage to do? When we are doing my grandmother time, or I say because they do it themselves and they pantang. When they do it during the younger day, I remember dia tak kasih orang masuk bilik because cannot tegur. So she do it herself and she pin herself. Then only the maid will help her to kasih dia punya accessories. Because normally I was brought up in that way. I saw. So especially my father's mother is very, very.
Yeah, talk about pantang. There was really a lot of pantangs.
A lot of pantang.
That we had to go through, especially when it came to the funeral wake.
Yes.
And we had to be careful because the fact is that there were unsavory. The location for the shoot is rather unsavory, so we had to ensure everybody, cast and crew, had to be well taken care of. And don't forget, the deceased is a living person, well and heartily living today. So we had to ensure that well taken care of.
I'm sure we all also has a consultant when we visit that place also for filming. We also have our own, pantang's way.
We had to be
Yeah.
careful.
We have to be careful whatever you do.
That's right.
Now, May Ling, you and I spend nights discuss the agreement to see whether we are happy, they are happy. Even late in the night, we're still going.
Yes.
So
I remember the agreement dropping on our laps sometime in June 2024, and the timeline was very tight because filming was scheduled to take place the very next month, and the agreement was very heavily negotiated over because the job scopes of the consultants had to be aligned perfectly with Mediacorp's requirements. But but the good people at Mediacorp were an absolute joy to work with, and the agreement was inked in the nick of time, and filming could commence. Yeah.
thank you. You wanted to mention about
Emerald Hill is available for on demand for free on MeWatch and Channel 5 every Monday to Friday at 9 p.m. Emerald Hill merch and Peranakan related merch can be purchased from Wondershop, that is one word, .sg/Emerald Hill, one word. This information can also be found in the post accompanying this video.
Thank you, May Ling. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thank you.
Peggy. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.